Welcome to Season 2 of Divine Dialogues with your hosts, Tracy Banga and Rhonda Shawn. This is your space for divine guidance, authentic connection, and heartfelt communication with the universe. This podcast is created for reflection, inspiration, and enjoyment. So take what resonates with you and have fun exploring the possibilities. Now let's open our hearts, quiet our minds, and discover what guidance Tracy and Rhonda's guides have waiting for us today.
Hi, everyone. So, welcome to our next episode. We're going to talk a little bit about how fear can create blocks. And what's going to happen first is I'm going to pull a card and ask the team, what does the collective need to know for their greater good about this week's topic in our podcast? And they're being funny. Let's see. Okay. Dog friend. Okay, give me a sec here. Honestly, I'm going to read the card, which, you know what, I'm so uncomfortable doing, but today I will love you without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and friend. So, in other words, they're saying, trust yourself, okay? That's the big one, and it's okay to ask for help and guidance. So, they're also saying, we don't have to solve. They're saying, stop from your worry of resolve everything yourself. So that's where the fear creates blocks comes in. Okay, so simplicity, and then we'll really get much more into this, but fear creates blocks. Okay, do you want to start and expand on that one, Rhonda, first?
Sure, because so this is where I kind of want to say the rubber hits the road in my personal life. Because this is something that we talk about, we teach about, but really these last 2 months, I really had to go back to that teaching in my own personal life. So I'm at the end of my social work career, or as a student, and we have what's called practicums that we have to complete. Well, it's been nothing but turbulence with my practicum. Like, first I got a practicum and then I didn't. Something fell through. So I'm like, okay, so that practicum wasn't for me or whatever. So I was able to let that one go without going into fear. However, my second practicum was a different story. And it, like, I have to say, these past 2 months especially, I have been tested where I'm like, I just need to trust, because if I go into fear, I am going to create so much stress and worry for myself. I am a planner by nature. I like to know what things are going on. And this is where I really, really had to take a step back and let go. So my next practicum, I was going in. We have to kind of go through an interview process for it. And I heard nothing back. And I was reaching out and I was reaching out and it just felt like I was getting ghosted, because I'm like, and because we have to have our papers in by a certain date, and that date went and gone. And I was like really kind of going into fear, and I have to say, like, I really had to check my anger because that's where it was happening. But I kept hearing from the team saying, walk your talk. You have to walk your talk. So I took a step back and I kind of stepped back and I said, everything's going to work out for my highest good. Whatever that looked like. If that meant that my practicum was going to fall through, that meant I wasn't supposed to be doing it and things needed to get shifted. as a result, I just found out actually today that the lady was actually on holidays. And in the interview, she forgot to mention that to me. So like, did I have little moments of stress and doubt and worry? Yes. But that's when I called on the team. And that's when I started hearing, you need to walk your talk. So it was a lesson for myself. And I've had many of those lessons these past few weeks. So it was just like, I just kind of like with everybody else, I am human. And I'm like, this is what I teach. So I need to like practice it. So the team is putting me into situations where you have to practice it, but I could have spiraled. And I had moments where I spiraled, but then I was able to ground myself and get back and having that outcome. Everything's going to work out for my highest good. And sometimes your highest good looks different, but then that's where that hindsight is 2020. Oh, if I would have gotten it at this moment in time, I wouldn't had this opportunity that was a better for me. Right? So even when things don't seem like in this case they worked out, but I was in the state of mind if it didn't work out, I was going to be okay. Yes, things weren't on my timeline. I kind of resolved that okay, things aren't going to be on my timeline, but I know something better was going to come along. And it was almost like once I really let go that guard down, everything fell into place. So now I have no worry. I have no fear. But I had so many incidences that really could have put me into that fear where if I really just focused on that, I would have been in a knot, which I would have been at one point in my time. I would have more than likely probably ended up in the hospital because I would have had like an ulcer attack or something.
Just would have worried yourself so much. Yeah. Really, when you worry and you bring that fear in, then you stop yourself literally from thinking any good is going to happen.
Yeah.
And you're putting that out to the universe. When you always think of the worst, that's what you're putting out to the universe for yourself. So that's why we always try to tell people to stop your worry and stop worrying about what may happen, what could happen. Think of the positive. Think that what's going to happen, what you're going to do if it's that you're going to get a new job and how much you're going to love it. Stop from worrying that is it going to be too hard? Is it, am I going to get along with everybody? How am I going to get to work? Like they're saying, stop from worrying before anything's even happened, because you're putting it out to the universe for the good to happen for you. And it's kind of like, it's hard to believe and hard to understand that putting that negative out to the universe is really going to affect you. But it does. It sure does.
Yeah.
I am I'm one who, if you've listened to the last podcast, how we were talking about where we've took off the last 2 months and what we were doing, and how I, with my traveling, and I'm one, when you know me, I'm a very nature person, and my planting is important to me, like my plants and my vegetables, all my plants to be in like before usually the end of May, if not sooner. And being not around was hard on me to get stuff done. And I was literally gone. I was home twice for 3 days and trying to plant it. And I live out in the acreage, so I have a lot of plants. I probably don't have to have that many, but I have a lot of plants, people. And maybe I will post at some point on my Facebook, on an Instagram. I'll post all my plants. Although I have to say, you got to be careful because there's still lots of weeds. I haven't had a chance to do all that, but I'll post some of my pictures and show you how much I plant and how much joy I get of all the work that my husband and I do, because he's a big helper. We're both retired in that way, that we work in our yard. And it's my stress reliever, everyone. Working in the dirt, working with plants. It's a stress relief. I'm giving all my cares and concerns to Mother Earth, and she clears it and gives me back positivity. I think she's my savior, for sure. For sure. So anyways, we just want you to know all about, remember what you put out there. Keep positive thoughts. If you're worried about something that's going to happen, worried about a new job, a move, like, just anything that you worry about, try to change your thought process to the positive and watch how things will change in your life, how good things will happen because you've put them out there. Trust in the process and trust in yourself.
Yeah, and that's where I have to say, like, I like to focus on the outcome and not necessarily worry about how I'm going to get there. I just know that I'm going to get there. And when we kind of touched about this on an episode about between scarcity mindset and an abundant mindset. And by having that abundant mindset is everything's going to work out for you the way it's supposed to. So then we start seeing all these different solutions that kind of come into your being. When we focus on our fear, all we can see is the limitations. And then that's where we get, because Tracy and I kind of talk about this, and we get caught up in this too. We don't like saying don't or not or can't, because what that does, it limits the focus, and your brain, you tell your brain what you want to see. So if all you see is the limitations, and that's why that really the statement of the fear creates the block, is because if we just focus on what's wrong, we can't see the opportunities that kind of come in to play, because we're just so focused on what's stressing us out, what's worrisome. Where when we can say, okay, this is what I want, then we start seeing and attracting the people that kind of come in to our lives. An example for this is sometimes we've been at shows where we've been, I'm going to say dead, but the networking that we created and the opportunities that we created have actually expanded more for us.
For sure. Yeah.
And then an example of this would be the Stonehaven shows that we're doing with Brody. Like, the only reason why we ended up kind of talking to Brody, he was next to us, but we were dead. Both of us were dead. So
It was a conversation at a show, probably at that time.
Yeah, probably.
And you just start making connections. It's the how, and because we both have lots of joy in what we do, we just connected, and there it went from there.
Yeah. And so it's like you just take those opportunities where you think, and that's where it's like getting that inspired action is, like, we'll just use this podcast as an example. Like, we've been talking about this podcast for probably about 2 years before we actually,
Yes, at least. Yeah.
But it was like, okay, so as much as we were talking about it for 2 years, once we committed to doing it and making time for it, we love doing it, and we make it work. But we also know when to step back, and we needed that step back for refreshments of ideas, for, just life happens. And it's like we're giving what we can, and we enjoy doing it.
Love doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. and it's been well received. And like I said, every time we open up our analytics, like we are just dumbfounded, shocked and awe.
Yeah,
And that's all back to you. And that and if we let fear stop us, because we were like kind of concerned on some of the vanity metrics of it, and we learned through it. Some of it is messy at some points in time, but the more we do it, the more we're like, oh, we like this idea, and the better we're going for it.
Exactly. All right. Well, Rhonda, do you want to do the part for the end our podcast?
So what do people, the collective, need to know for the next week, 2 weeks? Ready for change. So it's a tie, and I laugh because it's a tie. It's so tying to our topic today, because a lot of times what the fear creates the blocks is because we like the comfort, we like the change. So they're saying, this is interesting. So Archangel Raguel is actually stepping forward and work with Archangel Raguel for that change and getting excited. And, so, and the reason why he's showing me is like the balance of scales. It's like things are going to be changing regardless. It's whether you embrace it and kind of flow with it, or you try to buck. And he's saying by bucking it, it's going to happen regardless around you anyway. If you really look on your street where you live, or the community that you live in, if you probably even look back at pictures even from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, there was change happening. So change is current, change is fluent. They're just saying, get ready for the ride.
A couple weeks, guys.
Yes. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for sharing this time with Tracy and Rhonda on Divine Dialogues. Join them every other Tuesday as they continue exploring the wisdom, guidance, and possibilities the universe places before us. For private readings and personal guidance, please connect with Tracy or Rhonda using the links in the show notes. Until next time, quiet your mind, listen with your heart, and remain open to the signs and messages surrounding you.